everyone, this is P4L, and in today's Transformers review, we'll be taking an early look at Fans Toys FT-06 Sever, their take on a masterpiece scaled Snarl, and the third of their Iron Dinobot series. So this is a pre-production sample, so this is pretty close to being finalized, but there are probably going to be some tweaks, modifications, improvements that they're going to do before this figure's release. I believe at the time of this video, they're scheduled for the end of June to ship this out, but that could change. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. Pre-production sample, there might be some slight or even major differences between what you see here and the final retail release. Alright? So with that said, thanks to Toy Dojo and Fans Toys for sending this over. Let's go ahead and do a quick 360, and we're going to go right into robot mode review though, because I didn't get any packaging with this guy yet, but let's go ahead and start with robot mode review. And you can see he's really great looking. In true Fans Toy style, they did a really great job capturing his likeness from the cartoon into this 3D rendition. One of the things I want to note back here is this is one of the things that does bother me about Sever, is that this whole back piece is nice and gold chrome here, but the inside is not golden, and which, I mean, I know that would be difficult, especially given some of these gears and stuff like that, but it is a little bit distracting. He also has a little bit of a, I guess, butt pack or backpack here that sits down here, and just the shape of it's kind of weird. It's kind of inverted hollowness. It's not too terrible though. As far as backpacks go, there are definitely worse backpacks out there. Otherwise, he looks really, really great. Really hefty and bulky. Really mean looking. I guess before we get into anything else, let's actually just jump right into comparisons just to get it out of the way. So the first thing we'll do is go ahead and bring out Masterpiece Grimlock. And this is with his Scoria boots. So he is a little bit taller than Grimlock, about half a head, if that were a standard unit of measurement. Looks quite good. If you guys want to see what he looks like without these, if you don't have them or you just don't like them, you can see it makes him a lot bigger than Grimlock. He doesn't even get to, he gets to about the middle of his chest. Okay. The others I'm going to go with comparisons for are obviously the other Fans Toys releases. So let's go ahead and bring out Scoria, their first release. And again, quite a big difference. He is definitely the biggest so far. And you can also see just the massive bulk that he has compared to Scoria. Get him out the way. The latest release from Fans Toys was Soar, their version of Swoop. Again, quite a bit taller, and again, much more massive in terms of just overall bulk. And if we bring all these guys in together, let's keep him here. You can see we have 4 of the 5 Dinobots so far, and that just looks really, really awesome. To think that we only have one more figure that needs to be released by Fans Toys to basically have a full lineup. I can't even get them all on screen right now. But yeah, just knowing that we only have their sludge coming out after Sever comes out next month, that we'll have a full set of Dinobots in the Masterpiece scale. And if they end up doing their own Grimlock, obviously that's another one, but you'll definitely be able to get by with your Dinobot display with the releases up to then. Okay, let's go ahead and get these guys out the way, and we'll do one last comparison, the obligatory one with Masterpiece Optimus Prime, the Holy Scale Leader, the new Masterpiece Scale Leader. And again, I like this look here. He's still way bigger than Prime. He might need to be a little bit bigger, like I said. It really depends on what scale you're going for. If you're going by this official scale chart, which not, I guess, the scale chart that you see most often. That's what Fans Toys is using, and not any kind of cartoon scale. So that works out really well. Let's go ahead and we'll go first into, I guess, the head sculpt. Let's just zoom this up real quick. And this is one of the areas that people always have differing opinions. Head sculpts are always a little bit different. The eyes are nice and blue. I think there's supposed to be an alternate face that comes with the retail release, but don't hold me to that. But given that all their other figures basically have two faces, that I would count on it. His lips are a little pouty for me, and again, I've always been, I kind of dislike the overly rounded faces on robots. I mean, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for a robot to be that round, but yeah, that's what you get with Sever. Some people really wanted something a little bit different, something more close akin to the cartoon, but I think they did a pretty good job overall. And with his little helmet piece too. While we're up here, let's go ahead and show off the articulation. So he's on a swivel, it's not a ball joint, he doesn't have any bobble, and then as you saw before, he can do a 360 as well. Alright, let's scoot him back and zoom back out. Oops, sorry about that. I'll just edit that out later. Now I'm just going to leave it in because I'm lazy. Alright, so other points of articulation, we have his shoulders, which are nice and ratcheted. So we have ratchets this time, no friction joints here. Ratcheted going out this way as well, so great range of motion. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows, but it only gives you about 90 degrees because of the way his forearm works. But still 90 degrees is pretty good. He does have wrist swivel. And the fingers are as we expect from Fans Toys. They have really great hands. They don't have ball joints. They're just pinned at the hand and then individual fingers that have one more point of articulation at the knuckle there. Nice and tight. Still one of my favorite sets of hands to get from a third-party company. And you have the ball jointed thumb joint, and that's it for the hands. But nice and tight, and then you see the slot in there that we'll use for his weapons. We'll get into those a little bit later. I'm going to fold this down just because we're going to kind of need it like this for transformation. Okay, where else? Oh, so he has a waist swivel, and he can get all the way around. You might run into some interference with his little butt pack, is what I'm calling it. But if you move that out of the way, no problem. He does have these skirts that can move up. Some of these are a little loose, but again, that might be tightened up. Some people like it tighter. I kind of prefer them a little bit tighter, but some people don't. But those give you the ability to move the ratcheted legs. Not quite 90 degrees going forward. And not quite, oh, I guess you can get 90 degrees going back. But again, you might run into some interference back there. Yeah, they're not joking around with these ratchets. These are definitely really tight in a good way. Going outwards, we do only have friction. But these are really tight. No issues like the Scoria hips. He does have a thigh swivel up here. Very high thigh swivel. He does have ratcheted knees, which give about 90 degrees. And the interesting foot mode here, he has this basic piece here, forms one part of the foot basically, and you get tilt going in, not really out, and then you can get it going forward a bit, not really down. And I think it's on a ball joint. I feel like it might be on a ball joint, but it might just be on 2 swivels. I can't really see in there. But yeah, that's it for articulation. I guess you can say these are points of articulation. They're really for the alt mode, but you can use these to get some different angles or styles out of it. I kind of like it angled back just a little bit. Or you can have it kind of even pointing a little bit forward. Let me actually zoom this up just a little bit more. Let's see, what else is there to talk about with him in robot mode? I think that's basically it. He does have really nice look overall. I think his chest proportions are really nice compared to what we saw with Gutter. I think I like his robot mode better overall. Alright, let's see. Before we go ahead and get into the transformation, let's go ahead and bring in the accessories that I have. And these may not be all the accessories. You have the gun and the sword, which I left open to show you how to install the batteries. So you'll need 4 AG4 batteries, and the equivalent is 377 and I think SR626 SW. I don't know, but yeah, AG4. Look that up, and you'll get equivalents as well. So nice molded gun. You get kind of this detail in the cabling here. They made it easy to install the batteries in the gun. You just flip this up, and you install the 2 batteries with positive side facing down. And if that doesn't work, sometimes a lot of manufacturers end up rewiring it backwards. If that doesn't work, just flip it around. And you have a little button right here. You just press that, and you get the pew pew action. So it's not constant light. It's nice and blinky, which I think that's how Scoria was as well. For the sword, the flame sword, same thing. You have a little button down here. Press that, and you get a nice flame effect that extends all the way through this nice molded translucent plastic. To install the AG4 batteries, the same AG4 batteries, you'll need 2 of those. You have 5 screws here, which you're going to use a small Phillips head screwdriver to open that up. Once you do, install the 2 batteries, and again, having the positive or flat side facing downward. And just real quick, I'll go ahead and close this up so that I can show you how he holds that. But yeah, this is kind of standard fare for the Iron Diebots, the Fan Toys Iron Diebots. They all came with, except with the exception of Soar. I guess he didn't come with a gun, a light up gun. He came with his 2 missiles / rockets that can turn into handguns. But the swords are all pretty much the same in terms of overall look. It still has the red chrome here. It still has the light up effect. And it's really nice. I mean, this is like a pink translucent blade, which is more similar to the MP8X Grimlock as opposed to the standard Grimlock. Whether you got the Toys R Us ones, either the Toys R Us releases or the MP8 release, which came with just a clear, translucent, no color blade. And I definitely prefer this red blade. I think it looks a lot nicer, especially with the light up effect. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer than I expected. Okay, there we go. And yeah, you make use of this tab and use the tab in the hand that we showed off earlier. Just open up these nice little tight fingers. They're offset, so you need to get the tab towards the back. That tabs in. It doesn't tab in really tightly, but it tabs in just enough to kind of hold it in place. And the tight fingers are what really do the work here and keep it. So once you actually have that tabbed in, wrap the fingers around, and this is rock solid. It's not going anywhere. Let's go ahead and put the gun in as well, just to show that off. This one, because of this section here, you're going to have to get it kind of the hand partially closed while you tab it in. Sorry, this is taking a little bit more time than I was expecting. It's always hard to get this stuff done on camera. And this one feels a little bit looser than the sword as well. But again, once you have those fingers wrapped around it, this thing's not going anywhere. You're rock solid and ready to go. And just to show off both of these at once. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Alright, let's just get these out of the way and go into transformation. Alright, so robot to alt mode transformation. First, let's start off with the fists. The fist, make sure, like I said before, to have the fingers kind of curled up like so, and the thumb rotated down like that. And then we can go ahead and let's go ahead and start with the arms, just since we were already down here anyway. So open up these panels as you did before. Open up the front panel here. Rotate that in. Close that back up. Rotate the bicep 180 degrees. Bring the dyno mode foot down. And then rotate these panels back up. Then close them up. Okay. There are no panels on the back, so you do have a little bit of hollowness there. Same thing on the other side. Open these panels up. Open the front of the forearm. Rotate the fist in. Close that up. Rotate the bicep 180 degrees. Bring the foot down on this hinge and the ball joint to get it down in the proper position. Rotate these panels up. And then fold them into place. And tab them. There's a couple tabs there. Alright, so then that's done. Now we're going to deal with the upper body. So the first thing we're going to do is actually rotate, well, pull this tab up. This thing sits down, so just pull these spines up. And you're going to want to rotate this kind of up and forward. Let me rotate this up real quick so you guys can see it a little bit better. From here you can also open these two side pieces out. They're going to form part of the back. Next, what we're going to do is rotate the tails pieces up like so. And you need to get them up out of the way so that you can get the back to come out. Actually, it might have been better to leave these closed for now. Sorry about that. Just get these open all the way. Then you can open up the back. Straighten these out. While you didn't have to keep these closed, it just makes the interference that you might run into a little bit less. And then we can rotate these down a bit. Now we can open up these panels comfortably. Fold in the two halves of the tail. They have various pegs throughout the length of the tail that you just plug in the two halves. Let's go ahead and deal with the head. Open this up. Rotate the head down. Close that up and tab that into place. You can kind of bring this all up now. So remember to fold this tail section straight, because you'll need that. And then you can fold the two halves. Rotate the tail section up, and you're going to fold the two halves of the back closed like so. Once you do that, you'll see that there's a peg hole there and a tab there on each side. Peg and a tab. You can just tab those in. And you also kind of push the front down like that. And that helps secure and form the rear half of Snarl. You can already see it all coming together. I'm going to rotate this down just a little bit so you can see a little bit easier the lower half transformation. So the lower half, we're going to rotate 180 degrees at the waist. We're also going to rotate the thigh 180 degrees, and in addition to that, right below the hip joint where the biceps, the thigh swivel is, you're going to want to slide this out. So the leg kind of works on a small sliding joint and comes out about a half centimeter, a couple millimeters, nothing major. Then we'll deal with the dino leg. First thing we'll do is come to the bottom. This foot section that we showed in articulation, it's all kind of held together by these two pieces that tab together. So just push out on that, fold that up, and then you fold this not just once, but a second time as well to go into the die-cast toe. Alright, the next part, it might be easier just to show you from this side. You're going to split here the back of the leg from the rest of it. That opens up like so. Again, have this facing the outside. I just wanted to show you how the split works. Once you do that, you can rotate the leg all the way around. And then you can flip out the head. The head's going to go something like that. Right now you can't do that all the way because the knee's in the way. Just close that up. And then from here you kind of do what Grimlock and Scoria both did. Making sure the leg is completely straight, not angled, bent at all. Just completely straight. You're going to want to rotate it in on itself. Also be careful of the hip skirt armor. Just make sure nothing is kind of flying around, because you might run into interference there. You can rotate the dynamo legs down. Here you have a couple of options. I'd like to wait to tab in the head until we get both halves together, so let's just wait on that, and let's just repeat what we did on this leg. So rotate it 180 degrees. Remember to do that little slide, a sliding joint like that. We're going to split the back leg off like so. Rotate the front leg, dynamo leg down. Then we're going to rotate the head kind of out of the way like so. You can just leave it like that for now. Close it up. And then making sure the leg is straight again. Bend at the knee, which is ratcheted. And close that up. Oh, I forgot to do this. Okay, so the bottom of the foot, I forgot to separate. Again, just open this up like that. Let me close this, close that, then we can do that. You might want to hold it vertically just to make sure the skirt doesn't get out in the way. Then both halves come together, and there's tabs all along, like here, and on both sides that allow you to tab the two halves together securely. Rotate the dynamo leg around. In here, like I said, I like to peg both halves of the head together first before I tab it in. So just go ahead and just work these together. You're going to rotate this up, and you can see that there's a section here that goes around and tabs in. There we go. Like that. There's no tab here, which is kind of disappointing. The head, this second piece panel, just kind of flops around. It would have been nice to have something that actually holds it in place. But with that, you are in Sever's alt mode. And as I always say, I actually always consider their Dino modes to be their main modes and the robot modes to be their alt modes, but now I'm just being picky. But there you go. Easy transformation. So for alt mode review, let's go ahead and start off with a quick 360. And as you can see, this guy looks really good. I'm very impressed with Fan Toys and their ability to just make my childhood come to life. Nice vibrant chrome, a little bit more yellow than we saw, but I think they already said that, you know, what we see in this test shot or this production sample is actually not going to be what we're going to see on the final. But still nice and rich, high quality as usual. These plates are plastic. I think they did a really weird thing. So the inside detail is different than the outside detail, and the outside detail actually looks a little plain compared to the inside detail. I actually would have preferred this to be the outside or have both sides be the same. And I honestly don't know if this is supposed to be an accurate homage to the toy or the cartoon. It just looks kind of unfinished. This nice raised edge on the inside looks really nice, so I kind of wish they carried that out. But yeah, no die cast as far as the plates go. There's die cast on the toes, robot mode toes, and there was actually some on the waist. I'll show that again when we transform him back. I forgot to do so. And other than that, I don't think. Oh, these toes are die cast, the front toes, or the front feet actually. But this guy's really hefty. You guys probably noticed during transformation, this is going to be the big elephant in the room, the large gap here. They said that I think they're going to release a fix for this, or parts that will fill this up that are not going to be parts forming, which is kind of interesting. In their sludge release, so not. At least last I heard, it's not going to actually come with their Snarl Sever. It's actually come with the following release, which is kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and get into, I guess, real quick articulation. His head does go left and right a bit. He can't open his mouth. He has a little tab here that allows you to do that. There we go. Nice serrated teeth, nice and sharp. Some molded detail in there. No like flamethrower or anything like that on the inside. As I mentioned before, I wish they had tabbed this in, because you can't look up or down, but yeah, the fact that this kind of just flops around is a little kind of annoying. I hope they do fix that in the final release, if that's something they plan to do. Ball jointed front legs that do have kind of a, I guess, bicep or thigh swivel, nice and tight there. Nice ratcheted, I guess, quote-unquote elbows or knees, and then the wrists or feet are on a swivel and also can tilt a bit. And again, I don't remember if it was an actual ball joint or just a tilt. I think it might just be a tilt, and mostly only goes inward. Nice ratcheted shoulders, as before, that make up the hind legs. It does still have the bicep swivel, so you can still make use of that. It doesn't have a lot of interference there, so you can get a little bit of in and out, as much as you would need for dyno mode. It still has a slight knee bend here. And then the feet, the way that they're connected with this hinge here, it's not connected at the bottom, which I actually don't like. I think they should have found a way to make it connect at the bottom. But it's on a ball joint, so you can get a lot of twisting and tilting. It's just that it doesn't look like it's part of the foot when you do that, which is a little unfortunate. I mean, you can maneuver it in some ways, but yeah, it starts to end up being gappy. And as I said before, there's no panel covering at the back, so you do see a lot of hollowness there. Not terrible, but the tail is articulated in two sections, near the butt, I guess, and then near the tip. And I think one of the last things that they were fixing, people were complaining about how there's a gap here and it doesn't create a smooth form. But I believe that's one of the things that they're correcting for the final release that's not correct on this test shot. Or, I keep saying test shot, production sample. But yeah, that's it as far as articulation goes. I think I got everything covered. Let's go ahead and really quickly pan this up just a little bit, just so we can go ahead and bring in his Dino brethren. Again, Grimlock, Scoria, and if we can fit him in somewhere, Soar. I don't think I can even fit all these guys in frame, especially because my background is curved. Yeah, sorry about that. I can't get these guys in frame without zooming out too much and having you guys see my crappy painted wall. Yeah, that's gonna have to do. I'm sorry about that. Get these out of the way. As far as the accessories in alt mode, there is no storage for them in alt mode. While it does have nice translucent red and clear here, a nice homage to the toys, there's no peg holes anywhere, and there's also no, corresponding tabs or pegs that can on either the gun or the sword. So these just go away, which I'm fine with. I just never understood the need to have all weapon storage on the alt mode, but just so you know what you're getting into. Also nice translucent pieces here. Again, a nice homage to the toy as well as to Masterpiece Grimlock. Nice molded detail overall, and I didn't talk about the paint applications in robot mode, but you see a lot more in alt mode here because it's on the side of the body. Gray paint here, darker gray, kind of black, blue, reds. So very similar to what we got with Scoria. Some red, some minor details on the forearms, on the shoulders, and on the what will be the elbow / forearm. But yeah, that's it in terms of the review for alt mode. I think. Let's see. Did I miss anything? We went into articulation, so I think we're good overall there. Let's go ahead and get this guy transformed back into robot mode, and then we'll finish off the review. Alright, so to get this guy back into robot mode, so we'll go ahead and actually we're going to start with the front. So let's go ahead and come around to the bottom. You can use this big gap that currently exists to split the halves. You can go ahead and close the mouth if it's open. And actually also has a couple tabs here which make it easy to separate the front of the head. Alright, so once all that is done, you basically just want to start pulling the legs down. It might be easier for you to take these one at a time, so just kind of rotate them, and then you're going to pull the head down like that. That'll give you the clearance you have for the knee. So again here, kind of just like lifting the dinosaur head up. Untab this, bring that down to give you the clearance to bring that all the way down. And you can spread the legs to give you a little bit more room so you're not running into all that. I did this by accident already, but the thigh joint, which we slid out before, we can slide that back in. We'll do that on both sides since that's easy. And then we'll deal with each of the legs one at a time. So the first thing we'll do is go ahead and split the leg so it's back like that. I'm going to rotate this in, kind of bend it like so, and there's actually a little slot here for the toe to go in, so that's kind of how you know where you're going with all this. But get this leg bent forward as much as possible because you're going to need that clearance for the Dino mode head, like that. Just be careful because you are getting some chrome on chrome sometimes. It is kind of a tight fit and you might run into the die cast toe there, so just be careful. Now coming down to the foot, go ahead and pull this out. Pull it out a second time. And then from the top here, tap that, and this slots in. And that creates that, again, that foot, bottom of the foot. Then you can just rotate 180 degrees. Make sure this is tabbed in all the way. Alright, same thing on the other side. Oops, this side already split open, but go ahead and split it open. Rotate this in. And you can actually rotate the dino head in first if you'd like. It doesn't really matter the order you do it. But that might help you with the positioning of the legs. If you kind of go like that. Then close that up. There we go. Again, let's deal with the bottom of the foot by pulling this open, and pulling this open. Slotting that in. Rotating the legs 180 degrees. Then you can close the legs. From here, let's go ahead and rotate 180 degrees. Let me pan up just a little bit so you guys can see the upper body transformation process. Since we have the arms just like flailing out there, let's go ahead and deal with them now. Again, you want to open up these tabs, these panels here. Just open them up, just to show you that you can pull the arms out like that to get a little bit more access. You're going to want to rotate the dino mode feet kind of up like that. Open up the panel in the front, which, well, it's currently the back, but it is the front of the forearm. I'm going to rotate these panels down again, 180. Then you're going to close that up and rotate 180. Some people complain about the fact that you can see the gold chrome here and on the inside of the forearm and the back of the arm. It doesn't bother me that much. I kind of like how it sticks out. Just kind of a nice contrast with some of the leg pieces and the toes. But you're either going to like it or not like it, or maybe you have no preference, but it is something that exists. Go ahead and open up the panel on this side. Rotate the dynamo foot up. Open up the front panel. Rotate the fist down. Close that up. Rotate these panels down. Close them up like so. With the little tab here. Rotate 180 degrees. And then you have the arms done. Alright, so this last piece is just kind of a lot of, a little bit of finagling. So you're going to open up the, well, you want to make sure that this piece is kind of lifted up, this whole section, because you want to untab this, because this tab here keeps it closed, as well as that peg there. So just unpeg that, and then you can open up the back. From here, bend this in all the way, like that. So you're making it look kind of like a box shape. Same thing on the other side. These are nice and tight. Ooh, okay, there we go. And then you need to get the clearance, so you need to move the tail up. To kind of do all that, just need to get this up. Get this section kind of up like that. I'm going to split the tail. And then once you split the tail, you can start folding these up. But you actually need to get the head out of the way. So open that front panel, rotate the head out. And you can kind of just stick it anywhere for now. It just needs to be up and kind of out of the way. I kind of just leave it up front like this for now. And then you rotate this like so. And that should be just enough clearance for you to fold these in. It doesn't matter, you can fold them at the same time, one at a time, doesn't really matter. Then you can rotate these tail pieces down to the black arms that hold the tail, slot right in, get it all the way down. Alright, so now this top piece, you're just going to rotate this up, fold them in. So again, I didn't show that very well. So it was like this. Tail was like this. Just rotate at this hinge here up so the plates kind of fold in on themselves a bit, and then you can fold these in. This will go down and fold up against close to the bag. It won't fold up against the bag, but it'll be close. Then at the top here, you just fold this down to fill in that gap. Then you can finish off with the head, and then you have the tab here on the translucent piece. And there we go. We have Sever back in robot mode. The one thing I did want to mention that I missed before, this section here, I believe it's die-cast. It actually doesn't. I'm not sure. It's a different color. That's what's making me think that. But it might not be. It's not cold to the touch, so it may not be. But this guy's pretty hefty overall. I can't find all the places where he has die-cast. He probably has some elsewhere that I'm missing, but the places I covered earlier, the toes and the toes for robot mode and the toes for the front legs, are the ones that are pretty obvious. Alright. So yeah, that was the review for the pre-production sample for Fans Toys FT-06 Sever, their version of Snarl. And I really like this guy, if you can tell. I love the proportions. I love the robot mode particularly. I think the Dino mode definitely is the weaker of the two modes because it has the hollowness in the bottom. His front legs are a little bit smaller than I would like. And there's some other things that aren't perfect. For example, like I said, it'd be nice if this was kind of painted gold or molded gold to blend in a bit more. And the little butt pack isn't that great. But overall, this is kind of what you come to expect from Fans Toys. They do an amazingly good job of making such a solid figure. The articulation is great. The ratchets everywhere. They've tried to put ratchets almost everywhere. The only places where I don't think they have ratchets that are major are the legs going outward, like this, and the front legs of Dino mode are all on a friction ball joint. But otherwise, I think everything else that you would expect to be on a ratchet is. So the shoulders both ways, the thighs going forward and back, the knees. I guess the elbows aren't, but I wouldn't expect the elbows to be ratcheted. But yeah, overall this guy's just absolutely fantastic. I love him. It's making my life a lot harder in terms of, trying to decide which Dinobot series for the Masterpiece scale that I want to collect. Because unfortunately, I think I'm going to end up collecting both. Because I already have the retail version of Gutter, which I did a review for before. You can, I'll link that in the description just in case you want to have a look at that. But I've been a Fans Toys fanboy for a long time, ever since their Quake Wave. I've really liked what they've done with their figures. I think this is their strongest in some sense in the robot mode, and overall like build quality is really good. It's the best probably they've had so far. But it's the weakest in other senses, like the big gap in the alt mode. I think they could have done a little bit better in some areas. And I think with the competition heating up with Gigapower, they should probably go the extra mile to make some of these things as perfect as they can be for fans, to make their decision easier. But yeah, like I said, I'm collecting both. I'll probably have these guys for maybe Dino mode, and the bigger robot modes for Gigapower for robot mode display. But I don't think you can go wrong with either. I really love both. I think if you're a Fans Toys camp or Gigapower camp or both, you're not gonna go wrong. But as far as Sever goes, I really do like him. They've done an amazing job as always. So I can't wait for the retail release to come out. I'm honestly waiting for the comic book versions with the silver paint to come out, and I think that's what's going to be my main display for their Dino modes. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, or go ahead and follow me on Facebook, like me on Facebook, and you can leave posts there for those questions. I can probably answer those a bit quicker. But yeah, find me on Facebook at Pig4Life Reviews. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a whole lot, and it helps me to reach more fans like yourselves. If you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing, with all the reviews that I do and news, go ahead and click the subscribe button up here. We're getting kind of towards the convention season for Transformers with BotCon and the TF cons and so forth. So I'll be at some of those later this year, and I'll be trying to keep up to date with news and posting some videos as I attend those. And last but not least, if you guys want to add this guy to your collection when he comes out next month or so, you can go ahead and click on the Toy Dojo link in the description below, and you can pre-order yours while supplies still last. And last but not least, again, thank you to Toy Dojo as well as Fans Toys for letting me do this review on this pre-production sample. Again, one last time, pre-production sample. This is not the final release, but honestly, if this was the final release, I'd be utterly happy. It's that high a quality. It needs some minor tweaking maybe, and that's about it. But this guy looks obviously very awesome, very sturdy. Everything that you've come to expect from Fans Toys. All right. Well, that's all for today, everyone. Have a good one.